How's it going, everybody? This is The Table, the podcast where people you know tell stories you don't. I'm your host, Franco Grimaldi-Callo.
Your co-host, Reese Berlogan.
And today's guests are...
Nick and Sugar.
Quintessentials.
Well, what are your names?
He doesn't have a name, actually.
That's a good question, honestly. Some call me Trevor. Some call me the cool guy.
And let's
I'm Nathan Sugar.
Yeah, I'm Trevor Ramey, actually.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Franco, do you know me?
I think I do.
Oh, from what?
From orchestra, maybe?
What's that?
I don't know. So we brought you guys here because you have a jazz band, right? The Quintessentials.
Yes.
Right? So how did that start?
Well, actually, okay. I kind of put it together. So before the jazz band started, I was in this little rock band called NRV with my friend Graham, who's also drumming in this band. And we were kind of fed up with it. We weren't really practicing. We didn't like how we sounded. And I know Graham and I really enjoyed playing jazz from doing jazz band back in last year in band. And so I texted Graham asking if he'd want to do jazz band with me. He said yes, and he was with Josh at the time, and so he talked to Josh, and I got in contact with Josh, and I was told to get in contact with Nathan, so I got his number, and I texted him, and he was very interested.
I'd already talked to Josh.
We talked about this, actually.
Yeah,
and actually last year we talked about it briefly, but then we actually started together with 5 members.
Nice. So other than you two and Graham, what are all the other members?
So we got Ryan Kling on keys or piano. We got Josh Cooper on trumpet. Trevor's on bass. I'm on saxophone, and then we got Graham on drums. So.
Cool. So do y'all ever just switch instruments for fun, or usually stay with?
I mean, in practice, we'll get a little off task when we're switching between pieces.
I mean, because you can't stay focused for 2.5 hours.
And plus, with the group of people we have, we like to have fun together.
Yeah, no, it's fun.
That's
important. The point of being there is to have a great time.
But we have personality types that really just work well together.
So, are there lyrics in y'all's songs? Sorry, I kind of... No,
we're not going to have
just,
any. We don't
it's
intend on
just
having
jams? Just tunes?
Just tunes.
Generally, unless we have a singer soloist that wants to join us.
For a song or
we probably won't have lyrics.
No, so. We don't really intend on it.
Y'all feel like singing for a group of people?
It'd probably be tricky, but we could work something in.
Yeah, it's just really hard to find someone who's good at jazz singing particularly. I think with jazz in general, whatever you do, whether it's vocals or whatever instrument you play, it takes a certain ability to play an instrument, but when you go to jazz, it just gets even more difficult. It's a very strange genre of music.
Yeah, I know. I've tried. We've trying to audition for Berkeley, and my God, I don't. What the heck is a 13th?
Yeah, I know. 13th chord, they sound wonderful, but that hand stretch is just ridiculous.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So what made you want to do jazz instead of rock?
So like I said, so actually it goes back to my freshman year. So a little bit before that, I just started playing bass guitar, and I know Mr. Graham came over to my middle school and started talking about things, and I heard that there was a jazz band, so I asked him about it. He said there was, and then I come into the school year, my freshman year, and I sign up for jazz band, and I start trying to read music. Is pretty pathetic, but I enjoyed it so much, and then I did it the next year, and just found this passion for actually playing jazz. Because it's just so fun. It makes me move when I play.
I think that's how it all starts. I started saxophone because I liked jazz so much, and that was 6th grade, I think. But I got classically trained through the band, and it just wasn't my thing. So I'd say around my late freshman, sophomore year, maybe.
About the same time.
Yeah, about the same time as Trevor. I actually really got invested in it. Had my private lesson teacher teach me some stuff, and that's when we started.
And also, I'd like to say with rock, I feel like a lot of the bass gets just put under the mix, and with jazz, it's just more upbeat and lively for the bass part. I've never had a bad bass part playing jazz.
So where do you guys make your music? Do you film it at school or record it at school or at someone's house?
That is a really good question. We've got different ways of doing that actually. So we start off. So I think how we started off is we jammed. So I'd come up with a chord progression, and then we'd all come together and try to work it out with Brian on piano getting the chords down, and Graham just coming up with a swing beat or just a steady 4/4 beat.
So it's kind of just like everybody throws in their vibe, and it kind of just blends together and just works.
But as of recently, Graham actually wrote a piece through Music Score, and I did too. And so
they're pretty cool. Yeah. We're gonna work on filming those. We've got not filming on recording. Yeah, we have 2 mics, so what do you think? We'll do it individual recordings?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
we need so good when we do that
quality for this. So see how it goes. And we typically just record at Graham's house.
Yeah, that's the plan. And I mean, I'm sure for the actual recordings, when Brian's doing it, we'll do it at his house because he's got a nice grand piano that we can record with.
So speaking of those practices, both of you are full-time students, right? You're about to graduate this year.
Yeah.
You're not. You still have one more year left.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So how do you find the time to do this, right? Because it's hectic.
We don't.
Chaperone,
right? Short answer, we really don't. We do it whenever we can.
Yeah.
Sundays have been our go-to day.
We try to do it every Sunday, and then sometimes during the week,
we'll probably do a practice today, right?
We have practice after school actually, because we have a gig lasting about an hour and a half for school practices.
Yeah.
And that when we're at Graham's house, maybe 2 to 2.5 hours.
Nice.
We only practice during the week if we've got a gig coming up.
So you did mention you had a gig coming up. When is that? And
that's you want to talk about it?
Which
the
gig?
one, okay, the one that's next Friday. The one that's next Friday for the charity for the junior women.
So it's for first junior women, and I think our band director came and talked to us about it. He was like, "Hey,"
he got an email from whoever's hosting this charity.
We need a jazz band.
They were directly looking for us, dude.
Yeah, they were looking for us. They asked for our name. And our director was like, yeah, I'll talk to him about it. And I mean, I'm never gonna turn down a chance to play, and neither is Trevor. So we're gonna go play for them. I think around midday, lunchtime, this Friday, or is it
next Friday?
Next Friday,
on the 21st.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. And then there's also a small chance.
More
than a small chance. Yeah. We could be playing at prom, which would be
nice.
That'd be really cool.
Andrew and B have talked to us. People are running prom, I think. About
nice
doing it. But we're not gonna talk too much about that because we don't know for sure. But we actually have.
It's not dead set, but
we have another gig actually coming up. I think it's before that. It's sometime in March. Remember the competition? So we submitted an original recording, one of our original pieces that we wrote together as a band,
which is entirely pretty much improv in the melody section.
Yeah, it is.
It's pretty cool.
It is. And then we submitted a cover, more like a hard funk cover of a piece called Stratford by Roy Hargrove. And we actually
also a cool piece. We played that for the talent show.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we've played it at one of the gigs we've done before. It's just fun to play. But we got into the competition. We submitted those recordings. It's for the Contemporary Art Museum.
Yeah.
You know a little bit about that, Franco, right?
I got the flyer, but I didn't really have anything to apply. But I've read about it, and it seems really cool.
Yeah. It's cool. Yeah. So I think we got selected. So we'll perform there.
I think we get paid.
Yeah.
Are most of your gigs just voluntarily, or are
the first junior women one? I think that one's.
We were asked, but we
were just
volunteered.
Asked. So we volunteered.
Every time, for so far, most of it's been asked of. For prom, I was asked about it a while ago. So was Nathan, and for that one we did back in December. We did one back in December for some Christmas party. We were asked to do that. And then the one for the juniors women's charity event, we were asked to do that, but we also kind of volunteered for it.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. So, do you have any inspirations for jazz or for improvising?
Okay, so if you ever get the chance, listen to John Coltrane. His music is fantastic. I really like listening to his music, especially because it's old feel. But also, if you go on Instagram and you search up, say you play, I don't know, if you play violin and you want to figure out how to get better, even if it's classical, search up, just browse around, and you'll always find something. I follow probably 15 saxophone accounts, and they give me some pretty cool stuff to work with. So
why don't you just spit some of the names out for us?
Oh yeah, well,
give them a shout out.
Yeah, no, there's this one guy.
They're really good. Yeah, I follow most of them on Instagram.
There's one guy. His name is Chad LB. He's insane. There's another. His name's Chris Urbanski, I think. He's pretty insane too. And then we got better sax. What's his name? Jay Metcalf. He's pretty cool.
His tone is so good.
Yeah.
It's so warm.
And then as far as bass players go. He has a nickname from our band.
Yeah, from one of my favorite bass players actually. So there's this jazz bassist called Charles Mingus. He's very well known in the jazz world, and the band director here.
He
calls
him Mingus. Yeah,
because he's constantly like slapping bass and just playing in the middle.
Mr. Yancey?
Yeah, Mr. Yancey does. It's pretty funny.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, but yeah, like I said, Charles Mingus would be one of my favorite bassists. I also like a lot of electric bass players. I do upright and electric for the band.
Dude, you learn like upright in like what? Less than a year?
Yeah.
Dude, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, Mr. A taught me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Marcus Miller would be one of the ones. He's a good slap player. There's Geddy Lee of Rush. He plays for a rock band. It's weird. My inspirations are weird, but a lot of my inspirations aren't bass players particularly. Like this guy, like I was talking about earlier with Stratford, Roy Hargrove. He's one of my favorite jazz musicians. He's more contemporary. There's another guy named Elliot DeSuch. I don't know his last name. It's German or something.
Yeah.
And then Buddy Rich, like that CD.
Buddy Rich. Yeah, we were playing with the professional and Jazzy Chaperone, and he gave me 4 CDs.
Yeah,
I think
he gave me like 2.
Yeah, I was actually listening to one on the way here this morning.
Was he the trombone player or the one that had like
Barry sax?
He's the Barry sax.
Oh, okay. And the bass cornet. Yeah, he's really good.
He's so good. Anyways, yeah.
So what was it like to figure out which instrument you really wanted to play? Like for you, how did you come to the choice of like a bass? Like
It
you
took
wanted to be bass.
a long time to find an instrument that I would fall in love with. So I start off in 5th grade. My band director from Spring Forest comes over and has us trying out instruments. He told me I'd be good at clarinet because I made a note come out and I was like, oh, I gotta do that then. And so I did clarinet for 3 years in middle school. I come into high school, or in middle school, yeah. And then in 8th grade, I realized I was like, maybe you should learn another instrument. Yeah. So I asked for a bass guitar for Christmas. I started learning it. I like it a little bit. I just don't pick it up as much. Then in the summer, right before freshman year, I started playing a lot more and really getting into it. And then I go to band, playing clarinet again. The band directors find out that I play bass, and they let me play more bass in our music. And then I realized I absolutely despised playing clarinet.
Yeah, I can't see you like knowing you for like 2 years now.
Yeah.
Because I didn't talk to you during freshman year for some reason, but like I just can't imagine you playing a clarinet.
I know.
I just when I close my eyes and I think Trevor, I just seem just like slapping away during like a classical piece and having Mr. Fahey yelling at you.
I mean, the next closest is probably like trombone or something like that. Like not.
It's a vast difference. Yeah. And then during my freshman year, Mr. A was actually teaching me how to play upright. So it's almost been 2 years since I've like been playing upright, and I've just found a lot of passion doing that.
And you climbed your way up to like honors orchestra.
Yeah, like in a year.
Yeah.
No more playing por una cabeza.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god.
That's a joke. You wouldn't get it. Like Joker style. You wouldn't get it. No. But
yeah, it took quite a while. But then I realized when I play bass, like in the shows, I'm just like jamming, man.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I have some pictures of the jamming. So 6th grade, well actually prior to 6th grade, I had already tried my dad's alto sax, inferior saxophone.
Your dad was an alto player?
Yeah, he was an alto player.
I didn't know that.
He still had it, and I liked it. I could get some notes out and stuff. And so I went to 6th grade, and oh god, I was terrible, like through like halfway through ninth grade probably. But then after that, I started playing with my private lesson teacher, and he started teaching me some stuff, and I like started listening, and then I started practicing, and I got better, and so now I'm first saxophone, and I also play bassoon, and
That's cool.
It's not quite as cool, but it's cool for classical stuff.
And it sounds really good.
He's he'll probably end up teaching me clarinet, and so we can work with that in the future.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
I hate playing clarinet, but then I wound up picking up the bass clarinet towards the end of last year. That was cool because it almost sounds like a saxophone, but not so much.
There's a guy that I actually found he's probably my inspiration for bass clarinet. His name I think is Joe Temperley. He
sent me a video of him playing.
Yeah, he's incredible bari sax bass clarinet player.
Sounds really good in jazz.
Yeah,
surprisingly.
That's kind of why I want to pick it up, and so
we're gonna try to incorporate some of that in our band too, because I could just put down the bass and pick up the bass clarinet.
Yeah. So like, since you're graduating this year, what's gonna happen with the band? Are you gonna continue, or are you gonna find somebody else?
So.
We can't replace Nathan. He's just too good.
I'll probably
keep it going.
Well, not replace, like inherit the role.
I'll probably end up going to UT Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a decent chance that if I have a mic up there, I can actually record for y'all and send them the music, and then I can come back. I'll probably end up coming back every 2 weeks or so, and then we can have like actual practices then. Otherwise, we're just gonna have to figure out how to make it work.
No, because I can't. There's no way I'm gonna be able to find another tenor player that can improvise like you.
Yeah.
Caden is great and all, but he's not improvising.
Yeah, I know he doesn't practice, but we'll see where it takes us. I think
it's hard to think about. I don't want to think about it right now.
Okay, then don't.
Yeah.
So earlier you said how whenever you play, you just slap at the bass. Do y'all film like videos for your music, or just
we have a couple.
We got some. We can. Would you want us to show it on the podcast?
Well, the cameras probably won't pick it up, but if you send one, you could probably attach it at the end.
Yeah, we've got some recordings that we could probably show you, and then we've got the talent show video.
Yeah, we have that too.
And in rehearsals, I don't know. I think it'd be Franco said in rehearsals. I don't know if you'd want a video of that, but it's pretty funny. Mr. Yancey will look at me and be like, "Calm down."
He has a thing for taking off his shirt.
Okay.
Well, don't expose him.
Okay. Everybody in orchestra knows about it.
Yeah. We all laugh.
Was that a one-time thing? Or
No.
No. There's actually a story. Would you like to hear about it?
Which one?
This podcast is all about stories.
Okay, that's great. So, back last year, the end of my sophomore year, we had to do full orchestra for the graduation, right?
Oh no! I was an usher for that, so I couldn't see.
Oh man!
Oh, what happened?
I saw that happen.
Yeah,
that was funny.
That was great. Yeah, so in one of the rehearsals, we were in the band hall, and for some reason we had it set up so weird. So the band was on the left side with all the wind instruments, and the orchestra was on the right, and the balance was horrible. That's beside the point. So I'm in the back with Jack, Chris, and Rudy.
And as far as I'm aware, they didn't have AC, right?
I'm about to go into that. So there's no AC. It was so hot, and me being as let's say
large,
yes, large, exactly large. I don't know if the larger physique. I don't handle heat as well, and I get really hot. And I was wearing a Hawaiian shirt that day.
Ooh.
Which I'm known for wearing, by the way. I'm known for wearing this. I start to
Hawaiian shirt.
I unbutton it a little bit, and Jack thinks it's funny. He's like, Trevor, one more button. I'm like, okay, pop it off. He's like, one more button. Pop it off. And then next time he's like, one more button. I'm like, nah, maybe. And then he just takes it off for me. And so my shirt's just like wide open like this. It starts off with this place. I don't know. We're in the band hall, and then on the graduation. Okay, I shouldn't probably say this, but during the graduation performance, I did that too. Slowly unbuttoned the shirt during the performance.
Just like pop in circumstance.
Yeah. So let me get this straight. So you guys played for a graduation performance. You guys were playing for kids graduating.
Yeah.
And during that, you're just like, dude, nice.
Yes. And as we're leaving, so we have to leave what's that place called?
Tully Stadium, I think.
It's near Tully Stadium. It's
Daryl Tully.
The graduation hall.
Yeah.
As we're leaving, my shirt was just unbuttoned, and I'm going back to the orchestra, and then I'm walking with Fahey, Jack, and Elise. Fahey does not even notice that my shirt's unbuttoned.
How do you not notice that?
He doesn't even know.
It's like I think I'd notice if someone was
so.
Like,
and
hey,
Jack
bro.
was like that, and Elise was there, and I was like, I had my shirt open for Stratford. Stratford pride never dies.
I think
my I
opened
my shirt for Stratford.
I think the funniest like shirt.
Paint an S.
The funniest like shirts thing I've seen you do was back. I forgot what it was. I think it was Sleigh Ride. They were playing for the winter concert, and so brief context. There's 3 bass players, right? And throughout the piece, No, it wasn't Sleigh Ride. It was one of the concertos, right?
Oh yeah. It was,
Emily's.
Emily's, yeah.
Yeah, Emily Gladstone's concerto. You all switched like your shirts. All bass players like perfectly. Like you gave your Hawaiian shirt to Jack. Jack gave you his jacket. Jack gave his shirt to Rudy. Rudy gave his like shirt to you. And it was just flawless, and nobody saw. Nobody saw.
Yeah, only the band people were looking over me, and they just were dying.
I was dying too. Hilarious. I was saying that and I couldn't keep a straight face.
I was not able to hold it. Oh, that's pretty funny.
And that was like with 15 minutes left into the rehearsal.
Yeah.
And then you also did the opposite, and you got back into your rehearsal clothes. And still, Mr. Fahey and Mr. Yancey didn't notice.
Okay, Yancey did not notice at all. I think Fahey wound up catching us. And actually, he had to talk with us the next day. So it's just kind of a tradition in full orchestra practices since I did it
We've done it
back in May.
So every practice, you're just like...
Not every, just
not
like,
every
a good
practice.
portion.
Sometimes. it's more prevalent
Most of them.
Whenever it's like a Hawaiian shirt. That's most of the
I'm wearing a
time.
button now. Exactly. And throughout Drowsy Chaperone, I just like lift my shirt up and play. And no one would notice. And then Faye would be like, Trevor, put your shirt down. And there's this ongoing joke that Faye likes to talk about. So we'll just be doing something random, and then out of nowhere, Faye will be like, Trevor, keep your clothes on. He just loves that. I think in like 5 years from now, he's gonna have he's gonna tell this story.
He's gonna wish somebody would take the shirt.
Yeah, in 5 years, he loves to talk about previous students, and he's never going to forget me because of this. He's gonna be like, so a few years ago, I had a student. I'm not gonna say his name, but he's a bit odd.
Everyone will remember.
Every once in a while, in rehearsals, he just take his shirt off.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to forget.
And it's never like fully off, just like completely off. It's just like
you can see my my dad bod.
Your fupa.
My fupa. Okay, I'm not that fat. I don't have a fupa yet.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Careful with that one.
So to wrap it all up, what would you recommend people to listen to other than your own band if they just want to get into like listening to jazz?
That's a good question.
Okay, is it okay if I pull my phone out and
of course.
Okay, yeah.
And if you also want to give a shout out to your Instagram or whatever social
media.
We're
the let me search the actual.
Yeah. we're very prepared as you can see.
No, it's fine. It's pretty early in the morning. Not gonna lie, I feel like a zombie myself. And it's a late start day.
Let me
it's a big old jug of water. That's a Chuck jug.
So a good way to get into jazz is my playlist on Spotify. I'm just gonna say that. I'll mention that in a little bit. So there's this guy. I don't know how to say it.
Sorry, our page is the _ Quintessentials. And
instead of the S is a 5.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Wow,
and the artist I'd like to just give a shout out to is this guy named Elliot Desuch, big band, Deutsch. The guy, one of his projects, it was like kind of a political statement, but since there's no lyrics, it's not really gonna offend anyone, I don't think.
Yeah.
But let's just say he's not a big fan of Trump. Yeah, he's got like some satirical names. But the actual music itself is kind of, he said he was inspired by a band like Rage Against the Machine, which is a 90s like, grunge band. But just a lot of it's like this massive big band sound, and there's like electric bass in the background. It's really good. I think it'd be easy to get into jazz if you start from there.
Yeah, probably.
And then Roy Hargrove, he's a more modern musician. There's some like funk elements to his music.
And if you're not feeling like smooth jazz, you want like more of like a rock feel, you could probably
Such, like I said.
You could check out Chad L.B. and which I already mentioned him. Chad L.B. and the Sonic Magic.
And if you're more into like
really
pop or hip hop style stuff, there's this Barry player named Leo P.
Oh, he's so good.
I'm surprised we didn't talk about him earlier. Yeah, he's ridiculously good, but he plays the background music. He's usually just like beats and
In fact, what's his thing with Grace Kelly?
Oh, I don't know. He doesn't have that posted on any like platform, and it's disappointing because it's really good. But yeah, Leo P, definitely one of the guys I'd check out. What's that guy that plays with the slap bass player? The tenor player. And he has that really aggressive sound. The one where he picks up the phone.
Oh, Augie Bella.
Yeah.
So we're just like naming some.
I'm sorry, it's overwhelming.
No, it's fine. It's definitely a good playlist.
Yeah, it's this whole. It's its own world. It's really.
There's just so many like subgenres within jazz.
Yeah.
There's so much you can do with it.
What do you think it's kind of difficult for some people to get into jazz?
It's hard to listen to. And also, I think with a lot of people these days, particularly, people like to listen to lyrics, and that's what they care more about than the instrumentation. So I think as a musician, it's easier to appreciate jazz, and as just a listener, it's a little more difficult.
I love beats. I love just sitting, listening, because some of them are really interesting to hear because it's like there's so many different sounds. They're just coming together to make this beautiful piece.
Yeah.
It's like a grand puzzle.
Same goes for classical music.
But with classical, it's like you can almost tell there's a structure. With jazz, it's very. When I listen to it, there is a structure, but like it sounds very like
very loose.
Yeah.
A lot of the music, like classical, romantic, Baroque, jazz, up until probably like
the 20s.
Up until like the 40s when they started actually putting everything on record and you could take it home and listen to it. All this music was written for an audience to like listen to and absorb, like sit there. Capture your attention.
Yeah, you're probably right. With all the streaming services and everything, it's just harder to enjoy that music.
Yeah, you don't have a whole orchestra in front of it. It just loses a tiny bit of the magic when it's over.
And I think as a society, our attention spans have just gone
down.
Way down.
Yeah.
And so to appreciate
I don't want to
music
sound like
that,
a boomer, but it's because of these things.
Yeah, it's true. I love my cellular device, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I wish we could, as a society, we can appreciate more than what's coming out these days.
Sometimes just, I don't know, check out some jazz on Spotify. There's like, as you're
doing
homework. Yeah, it's great.
Especially if you're going into a music major, you're going to want to know some jazz stuff. As Franco you had to do an improv over jazz chord progression, right?
Yeah, I have to do improv over at 1-4-5 for Berkeley. It's not like the most like impressive progression, but it's still a pain in the butt.
Oh yeah,
so,
for sure. But accidentals will be your friend.
Yeah. So thank you very much for coming and having the time.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
You've had a good time, a long time, more than other podcasts, but it's good. We got a lot of information and it was fun.
Yeah, no, we were happy to do it.
We love talking about ourselves, so.
Yeah. All right.
No egos.
So yeah, check out the Quintessentials and thanks for watching. Bye bye.